incentive program, meaning that the A is for every A you get in a major subject, English, math, or science, you get $25 credit toward a Jordan product at a Villa store. So, student could earn it, and then they get, if they come to school 90% of the time, they get another $25 on top of that. So a student could earn, by report card quarter, they can earn up to $100, 3 A's, and if they come to school 90, right? But the point of the matter is whether they get 1 A or whether they even just get they come to school all the time, they don't get an A, they're still going to get something, right? So that goes toward that thing. So today, but the other built on piece now that Jordan does, because this effort has been in existence now for 3 years. The 4th year, last year, the 3rd year, Jordan Brand stepped up major and gave what's called a gap scholarship. So any student, regardless of whether they got an A or not, but any student who graduated from the schools that we're in, that went to college, Jordan Brand picked up all the rest of the money that financial aid didn't cover.
Wow.
That's big.
So
we got,
would do that with mine.
well, right, right,
Me a couple,
right,
a couple
right.
to take care of my bills.
So here's an interesting bit of data that I heard today that I didn't know about yet. I was waiting to hear about it. So we're in 3 schools. We had roughly 270 some seniors last year who were eligible for this, who went to college. Of that 274, only half apply for this scholarship. Now remember, to get this scholarship, all you had to do was be part of the, well, only thing you say remember because you didn't tell you. To get the scholarship, all you do is be part of the program, be in your school for 2 years, keep that 90% grade, that 90% attendance, and then go to college. Turn in the paperwork back to us in terms of what we know what your bill is, and they'll pick the rest of the money. Jordan picks up the rest of the money. So only half of those students followed through with that. Now, what I don't know is, I don't know whether those students, maybe, I won't say half of them, but some of them probably didn't go. They probably didn't finish their process and whatever. Some of them though did, and they just didn't follow through with the A's for J's part, and therefore now they got that money, they're on the hook for that. So, the energy or the excitement and the knowledge base, even from the parents' side, to know that this kind of a scholarship exists, there's still a void or a vacuum in it. So something in the communication is not happening, right? So that's kind of where another example of what I want to say is that these opportunities are out there, and they have always not like this one. Similar to this was the Gates Millennium Scholarship, but there ain't too many scholarships that does like this. But there's always been, through your years of going to high school, through my years of coming through high school, there's always been programs out there to assist and help students go to college. It's always been about who has had the most information or knowledge base and followed through with their process. That's the key. That's the turning key.
So far, what impact has your organization had on the local community thus so far? Be briefly.
Okay, all right. So I think that, College Prep Roundtable, I think has had a great impact on the community because there actually is no other community like this. This organization, Philadelphia College Prep Roundtable, started 25 years ago as a network. No one was doing that years ago. There may have been a meeting called by some office citywide to do something or a foundation, but not a collective of individuals, practitioners who do the work. These are the folks who brought this thing together. Now, since then, we are looked at as a voice and a sounding board and thought leaders by many organizations or many groups like politicians or the political groups, civic engagement, foundations. They all look to us in terms of what we do and what we believe in and our expertise in terms of the work. I'm gonna stop there right there. Now, with A's for J's though, I think A's for J's, it's too early to talk about A's for J's impact but I think it's going to have a major impact. What I hope is that, and by virtue of the fact that it's in these 3 schools, and more students will take advantage of the scholarship. With that said, I hope that Jordan and Villa puts it out there and begins, and so it's such that it becomes a challenge for other organizations and industry, particularly businesses and industry, who can afford to pay these kind of dollars for students to go to college.
So what does your organization struggle with the most?
For the College Prep Roundtable, it's volunteerism. We are almost a solely, matter of fact, we are now, it's not even almost, we are a volunteer-driven organization. We need volunteers to make things happen. Mm-hmm. I get a stipend, but I'm not salaried. Mm-hmm. So even in my stipend now, I won't be able to, the way it works with the new government legislation through the Department of Labor. I can't even pull down like a stipend or piece. College Prep Roundtable cannot give me a stipend. So this is almost a volunteer group. You know, I mean, when we write grants and projects and stuff like that, we can hire maybe like a project manager, not at a project manager salary, but we can throw somebody some money to be a project manager. We've put aside some money for some media and marketing because that's important to our work. But again, a lot of this happens around the volunteerism of folks. We've had people who volunteered for well over 20 years to this organization, and they're tired. And so they've moved on. We're still with us, but they moved on from working. And so the thing now, the struggle for me now is to find new blood to pick up that work. A's for J's, I think which is the scholarship board or that work, which is day-to-day operations or work, which is contracted work for me in these 3 schools. I think the difficulty there is getting students are understanding it. They know it because we got a lot of hype around A's for J's in the schools. But it's really getting the students to understand how the program works. And then I think the other side of it is really the corporate side. I think the corporations are on their own timeline, they do their own thing. And a lot of times that doesn't match up with when students need to do stuff and parents need to do stuff. And so sometimes things feel a little rushed because corporations didn't make a decision or the lawyers didn't get together and did what they needed to do until later on. And then when things got to get done, the school year is going on, passed on, and so we lose time on things from that perspective. That's a challenge. That's a major challenge. But other than that, I think we're starting to settle down as we enter year 4 of the A's for J's program. And I think, like I said, I think it's going to have a major impact. It's just a struggle getting folks on the same timeline.
So, what is your favorite? What part of your job means the most to you?
Wow. Well, let me just say for the A's for, I'm gonna start with A's for J's on this one first. I get the greatest impact because Philadelphia College Prep Roundtable, really, I spend 80% of my time with that. So I appreciate being first, and because that's working with professional practitioners, I'll sit back. I know usually you're having to move because I'm moving around. Because I'm working with practitioners, I really didn't get on the ground, like what's going on, what's happening. Mm-hmm. So by working with A's for J's, the beauty of that is I've actually still have some hands-on with students, with parents, with administrators, with teachers, with counselors. As far as College Prep Roundtable, the great part about that, again, is also a similar but different thing, different folk. So the beauty of College Prep Roundtable is really working with the practitioner and working with the new blood coming into the work that has a lot of energy around the work and want to know things. And with millennials in particular, who, and I'm pretty sure a lot of millennials have heard this from, particularly those of us who are baby boomers. Millennials have a lot of